13 hums like a jukebox, ghost neon red on a wrinkled sheet. AC rattles time in quarters, truck brakes sigh along the street. A coffee ring halos a Gideon book, dog-eared psalms and motel dust. I got a pocket full of pay I should have mailed, and a ring I couldn't trust. Your name is inked on a napkin from a diner 3 towns back. Waitress said the pie was holy, but the coffee tasted black. I chased a headline promise, played 100 one-night stands. The fame's a busted tail light on a borrowed touring van. I learned to tune a tiller like a heart learns how to bend. Raise a glass to good intentions, then drink straight past the end. There's a lipstick print on a highball, there's a voicemail I won't hear. If redemption's in that dresser drawer, Lord, I hope it's getting near. I keep counting white line blessings between exit signs and sin. I keep telling every mirror I'm a better man again. But morning always finds me where midnight left its stain, in a room that smells like cigarettes and yesterday's champagne. Thunderbird Motel Bible, tell me what I ought to do. Fold your paper wings around a barroom orphan's truth. If there's mercy for a drifter with a jukebox for a spine, turn this key of cheap forgiveness till it opens up her mind. Thunderbird Motel Bible, softback lantern in the night. Read me back to Sunday morning, for I traded love for lies. I remember Amarillo, we were sweating through July. You were swearing I could settle, I was swearing I could fly. Hit the fairground stage at sundown, played a brave face through the set. Told the crowd I loved them, but I loved you more, still I left. Now my pickguard's full of scratches like a ledger of my lives, and the band just keeps on walking when the front row won't meet eyes. I dial your number in my head the way a chorus finds its rhyme, but the bridge to where you're sleeping's blown by whiskey road and time. I thumb the paper ribbon, that's some Gideon tucked inside. Come home, prodigal, come home, it lands heavy, simple wide. Knock rings down the hallway, just an ice machine complaint. I think about confession, but I ain't the praying saint. Still I light a match of courage, let it flicker toward your name. Close the Bible like a promise, leave a 20 for the maid. I can almost feel your hand warm as summer on my chest, but they don't sell that kind of miracle at this exit off the west. Thunderbird Motel Bible, tell me what I ought to do. Fold your paper wings around a barroom orphan's truth. If there's mercy for a drifter with a jukebox for a spine, turn this key of cheap forgiveness till it opens up her mind. Thunderbird Motel Bible, a softback lantern in the night. Read me back to Sunday morning, for I traded love for lies. Maybe love ain't lost, it's parked outside, hood hot under the moon. Maybe grace is just a waitress who says, sugar, see you soon. Maybe psalms are lonesome ballads stuck like gum beneath the chair. and the chorus you've been chasing has been waiting in that prayer. I ain't holy, I ain't sober, but I'm done with motel lives. If the road is just a circle, then it leads back to your eyes. Thunderbird Motel Bible, I'm folding all my maps tonight. If there's still a room in heaven where a stubborn heart turns right, let it be a porch in Texas with your laughter on the line. Let it be a vow remembered more than stage lights ever shine. Thunderbird Motel Bible, I'll leave the key, I'll pay the fine. I'm cashing out a neon logic, and I'm coming home this time. She lived behind a fence that sang when the panhandle winds would rise. A silver string of warning stitched with prairie lullabies. Her daddy on the section line, her mama on the pews, and I own little more than hope and dust on busted boots. I'd tune my heart like Saturday, bring wildflowers from the ditch, watch her braid the sky with laughter by the cattle guarded switch. But old men count their daughters like they count the winter feed, and a boy with callous knuckles ain't the suitor that they need. We wrote our names on cedar posts with a pocket knife and faith. She traced a heart around it, I cut deeper at the base. July ran hot like secrets burn. When sunset keeps your sight, we'd meet at that dead-end windmill where the pasture kisses sky. I promised her a double wide, a porch with painted rails. She promised me a ribbon from her Sunday summer braids. But promises are fragile when the harvest runs behind, when the bank and weather argue and your luck forgets to sign. Barbed wire Valentine, bleeding little truths, caught between her father's field and my broke down point of view. If love's a gate you crawl beneath, I'll snag my shirt and spine. But I won't stop, no I won't stop, till she's forever mine. Barbed wire Valentine, rusted rough and real, wrap it round this lonesome heart to prove the way I feel. They sent her off to Lubbock for a broader sort of life. Said books and brighter futures beat a poor man's moonlit knife. I stacked square bales like altars, prayed the winter wouldn't bite, saved every dime in Folgers tins like soldiers save their might. She called me from a dorm room where the walls were clean and white. Said this city moved too quickly, but her dreams were holding tight. I boxed a ring from pawn shop glass, the stone of faithful fake, and swore the fence could be our choir if we both would leap by faith. Rumors ride the county road like tumbleweeds and crows. Her daddy said she'd met a boy with well-pressed Sunday clothes. I met that fence at midnight, slid my jacket through the wire, let the thorns undo my stubborn, let the prairie wind conspire. A truck light carved the pasture, I heard boot heels, then her name. She came running like the rain does, wild and certain, unashamed. We met where months had split us, we kissed the summer blind, and every barb that tore my sleeve just stitched our lives in time. Barbed wire Valentine, bleeding little truths, caught between her father's fields in my broke down point of view. If love's a gate you crawl beneath, I'll snag my shirt and spine. But I won't stop, no I won't stop, till she's forever mine. Barbed wire Valentine, rusted, rough and real, wrap it round this lonesome heart to prove the way I feel. It ain't the ribbon on a box, it's a knot you learn to tie. It ain't the preacher's perfect words, it's the quiet years you try. Give me fences we can mend, and storms we learn to ride. Give me calloused hands and supper steam, and you there by my side. Barbed wire Valentine, thorn-kissed, tested true, we'll string our names from post to post till county lines turn blue. If love's the field we harvest late, we'll sweat and pay the fine. I'll wear your ring, you'll wear my name, and we'll outlast the time. Barbed wire Valentine, let the wind record our vow. I loved you then, I love you still, and I mean it even now.
Sun up paints a tin roof gold, pigeon shuffle like a choir. I clock in where the river bends and the rail cars creak like prayer. Weigh scale hums a stubborn hymn, auger coughs a dusty tune, and the boss man says move quicker boys, like Sunday ends at noon. There's a chalkboard in the office where the futures rise and fall, but our pace stays flat as crossroads where two lanes meet it all. My granddad's hat still hangs there, sweat salt in the band. Says some gospels ain't in Bibles, some they're in the working man's hands. The widow runs a cafe, pours coffee black as coal. She asks after my mother, slips an extra roll to go. There's a bulletin for softball, a poster for a dance, and a prayer list by the register, names written like a chance. I learned to bless the weather and to curse it just the same, to treat the grain like daylight, hard to catch and quick to change. When the elevator groans at dusk and we sweep the chaff aside, I count the hush between the gears like beads of borrowed time. Grain elevated gospel preached to me in dust, in the rattle of the auger, in the steady of my trust. I ain't much for hallelujah, said in suits and perfect lines, but I know a kind of heaven when the harvest trucks arrive. Grain elevated gospel, steel and sweat and roll, teach me how to lift what's heavy with a blue-collared hoe. There's a kid fresh out of high school, talks of leaving for the coast. Says the city shines like music and the nights are made for toast. I tell him taste the wheat head, feel the snap of frosted stems, how a winter you survive becomes a medal no one rents. But I don't blame his wanting, truth be told I wanted to. Tuned a pawn shop 5-string, sang my plans across this view. The county fair gave ribbons, but the rent still ate my song. And the only stage that paid me was this platform all along. When the siren of a freight train moans a question down the tracks, we answer with a semaphore of work that answers back. Lylan Bay 3 lost his ring, he keeps looking through the grain. Says, ain't it just like marriage, boy, you search through rough for plain. The preacher stops for diesel, wipes his glasses, blesses rain, quotes a verse about the sparrow, then asks how's Mrs. James. We nod at all the names we know, at joys and busted plans. It's a liturgy of handshakes, faith with gravel on its hands. Grain elevator gospel preached to me in dust, in the rattle of the auger and the steady of my trust. I ain't much for hallelujah, said in suits and perfect lines, but I know a kind of heaven when the harvest trucks arrive. Grain elevated gospel, steel and sweat and roll, teach me how to lift what's heavy with a blue-collared hoe. Maybe grace is in the sweeping, not the polished Sunday floor, in the way that tired shoulders still make room to lift one more. Maybe faith, the stubborn engine that won't quit when belts run thin, and the miracles the morning when the lights all flicker in. I hold my breath at sundown as the scale arm finds its rest, and I swear I hear a choir in these pigeons on the crest. Grain elevator gospel, sing me home tonight, through the dust that turns to starlight in the last of fading light. If the book of us is dog-eared, still its pages smell like rain, and the chorus keeps on rising with the breath of loaded grain. Grain elevated gospel, let the whistle be my bell. When it rings, I know I'm living what my granddad always felt. They shut the jukebox early, said the storm was coming fast. but we stayed for one more two-step in the ghosts of dances past. Floorboards creak like memories, smell of whiskey, smoke, and pine, and that neon horse above the bar blinked out for one last time. Old man Miller wiped the counter, said the county's closing down. They're putting in a warehouse where our nights used to drown. You smiled in that cracked mirror, hair all gold beneath the fan. Said maybe this old honky-tonks got one more song to stand. We'd met in that same barn 2 decades and a prayer ago, when you were all blue denim and I was all dust and show. We fell between 2 fiddles, slow danced till the lights went brown. Promised to be reckless till the law came back to town. But bills and babies, drought and debt, they split the waltz in 2. Now we're strangers under rafters that still remember you. You turned your ring around your thumb like time could be reversed. Said maybe we should dance again before they roll the hearse. Last call in Miller's barn, where the boots outlive the men, and the sawdust keeps the secrets that the years can't comprehend. Pour me one more jukebox prayer, let the steel guitar testify. We'll two-step through the ending, honey, and never say goodbye. The rain hit hard on the tin roof, lightning lit your grin. The band had long since packed their gear, but someone plugged back in. That old bartender's daughter sang a song from '85 about how hearts can rust but still somehow survive. You leaned your head upon my chest, the thunder kept the beat. I felt the past come flooding in like summer through the wheat. And all those years have maybe turned to right now in the rain, as we danced like dust of thunder back to where it all began. The lights went out for real that time the wind tore off a shingle. We swore we'd keep this place alive, if only just in signal. I carved our names in oak beside the Miller family brand. Said here's to what won't vanish when they pave this piece of land. You said we ain't built for city bars or those polished neon signs. We're the crack in every love song, babe, where truth still intertwines. And as the power flickered back, the jukebox crooned its last refrain. We kissed like all the lonely bars that found their home again. Last call at Miller's bar, where the boots outlive the men, and the sawdust keeps the secrets that the years can't comprehend. Pour me one more jukebox prayer, let the steel guitar testify. We'll two-step through the ending, honey, and never say goodbye. When they tear it down tomorrow, we'll still hear that fiddle cry, and the ghost of us will waltz again beneath this western sky. Love ain't bound by lumber, babe, or time's long crooked arm. It's a song still playing softly, at last call in Miller's barn. Last call in Miller's barn, where the laughter met the rain, where 1,000 broken hearts learn to mend again. We'll toast to every sinner saved by 2 chords and a rhyme. Last call at Miller's barn, forever closing time. There's a white cross by the culvert where the asphalt dips and bends. They say a preacher's son went off the road and met his end. Every Sunday morning folks still leave him coffee cans of blooms. And sometimes when the wind is right, you hear that old church tune. But I ain't here for flowers or the hymns they left behind. I park my truck where county meets the edge of my own crime. Got a flask of wild redemption, got a guilt that don't behave, and a Bible on the dashboard daring me to be brave. She was married to a deputy with a jaw like Judgment Day, and I was fixing fences where the pasture meets the clay. She brought cold tea and questions about a life she'd never choose, and I brought lonely afternoon and songs I'd half abused. We met down by the cattle bridge where county maps forget. Kissed like we were stealing time from grace and God's own debt. But secrets grow like ragweed when the rains don't wash them clean. And soon the whole damn county knew what should have stayed unseen. This is my county line confessional, under headlights and sin. Ain't no preacher, but I'm praying for a place to start again. If forgiveness has a zip code, Lord, I'll drive till I arrive. County line confessional, where the lost keep love alive. He found out on a Thursday I was gone by Friday's dawn. Left a note that said don't follow, but revenge still lingers on. They say he drinks in silence now, his badge turned upside down. And she's gone to Oklahoma, chasing somewhere out of town. I drive past their old trailer when I haul the grain at night. Still see her in the porch light, still hear a soft goodnight. And every time the CB hums, I swear I hear my name. Through static guilt and gravel roads that all sound just the same. This is my county line confessional, under headlights and sin. Ain't no preacher, but I'm praying for a place to start again. If forgiveness has a zip code, Lord, I'll drive till I arrive. County line confessional, where the lost keep love alive. There's a storm above the grain bins, there's a calm before the shame. And I reckon both are holy if you call them by their name. So I'll lay this truth beside me like a rusted wedding band. Love don't choose its boundaries, it just takes a trembling hand. County line confessional, I'll whisper to the night. If you're listening, Lord,
the wind erase my tire tracks, let the gravel hide the proof. County line confessional, mercy's just another truth. Widow's Creek runs slow and brown, where the sycamores lean low, and the water tells old stories that the town folk never show. And they say a bride went missing here the night her vows were done. And every spring the lilies bloom like she's been newly won. I came to fish one morning, but I caught more than the trout. A wedding ring half buried where the river curved about. I held it up to sunlight, felt a chill that didn't fade, like someone whispered, dance with me just once before the grave. The town still holds its dances by the general store each June. And every year a stranger comes and vanishes by noon. I never thought much of ghost tales till that night she took my hand. Barefoot in the moonlight, pale as lace, no wedding band. She smiled like someone learning how to live again through pain. Said the river took my promise, but it can't have yours the same. We danced upon the water's edge till dawn erased her shape. And all that stayed was perfume and a trail through willow drape. Widow's Creek walks 3 steps with the past, spinning through the silence where love outlasts the last. She said forever's just a word the living misunderstand. Widow's Creek walks with a ghost that held my hand. Now I go there every Sunday with 2 cups and a song. One for her and one for me, the living and the gone. The preacher says it's foolishness, but I call it what it is. A mercy found in shadows, a grace you can't dismiss. Sometimes I hear her humming low beneath the cottonwood, and I follow that faint rhythm till I'm standing where she stood. The water moves like fabric on a bride who won't grow old. And I swear that creek still sparkles with the rain of river gold. Widow's Creek walks 3 steps with the past, spinning through the silence where love outlasts the last. She said forever's just a word the living misunderstand. Widow's Creek walks with a ghost that held my hand. When the town's asleep and the middle light fades, I still hear her laughter through the glades. Love don't vanish, it just trades its form from hand to wind, from kiss to storm. Widow's Creek waltz one last bow and sigh. She whispered, love don't die, it just learns to say goodbye. Now every spring when lilies bloom, I lay my boots in sand and dance that Widow's Creek waltz with the ghost that held my hand.
They played Stand By Me in a VFW hall, crepe paper banners and a disco ball. Her cousin on drums, her brother on bass, me in a bolo tie, nervous and misplaced.
The preacher looked like Merle, the bride looked divine, and the groom's old Chevy waited, running just fine. We were kids on the edge of maybe in time, and love was a song we could barely keep in line. Rise hit the hood like small town rain, and we took that 2-lane out past the grain.
I was the guitarist, she was my fan. We laughed through the windshield at our 2-piece plan. Moon on the dash, radio low, promises hung like tobacco smoke. The county line blurred in rear view chrome, and that 2-lane wedding band rode us home. 2-lane wedding band playing love the best we can, out of tune but holding hands in a rusty Ford and a half-plan stand. We may not have forever grand, but we got miles in this wedding band.
2-lane wedding band playing love the best we can, out of tune but holding hands in a rusty Ford and a half-plan stand. We may not have forever grand, but we got miles
in this wedding band. Years later the crowd got small,
kids grown up, we'd seen it all.
still played the bar every Friday night, still drove that road in the dashboard light.
You'd sing along with that same old grin, the one that made the heartbreak thin.
Sometimes we'd fight,
sometimes we'd miss,
but that same 2-lane always led us again.
Last summer the preacher passed, the hall burned down, but memories last.
Now when I plug in my old guitar, I swear I still hear her voice by far.
She's gone ahead, but when I play, I hear that small town band replay.
And every verse that comes around feels like vows we never drown. 2-lane wedding band playing love the best we can, out of tune but holding hands in a rusty Ford and a half-plan stand. We may not have forever grand, but we got miles in this wedding band. or the perfect key.
It's the flat note sung in harmony,
and the road keeps time like an old kick drum,
beating out life till the night's all done.
Two-lane wedding band still rolling through that land. Every heartache, every chance still dances to that circumstance. If heaven's got a stage that grand, we'll play again. Same wedding band, same wedding band. She wore blue bonnets in her hair the day the sheriff came to town. Said her husband's truck was missing and the river's running brown. She smiled through tears of powder, said she hadn't seen him since June. But the whole damn cafe knew she'd been humming a different tune. They say Texas women bloom wild and fierce under heavy sky, but the sweetest flowers still got thorns and the prettiest ones can lie. I was tending bar that morning when she winked my way and said, ain't no crime in freedom, honey, just depends who winds up dead. The papers called it mystery, but the county called it clean. They never found that truck or the man who used to lean. But I saw her late one summer down by Blanco Creek, digging through the blue bonnets like a secret she can't keep. She found a locket in the dirt, kissed it once then turned away. Left me wondering if guilt was just the price love has to pay. Bluebonnet alibi, blooming where the truth won't die. She said love's a kind of mercy, but mercy still can't lie. If the wind smells like rain and rust beneath that Texas sky, you'll hear her laugh through the blossoms. Bluebonnet alibi. Years rolled on like tumbleweeds and her beauty never faded. She ran a flower shop in town, polite but understated. She'd tie a ribbon round each stem with steady trembling hands, whisper he's forgiven as she dusted off the stands. But every April thunderstorm, I swear I hear that truck, the radio half playing and a woman out of luck. I drive down to that river road where blossoms paint the banks and feel her ghost beside me, offering silent thanks. Bluebonnet alibi, blooming where the truth won't die. She said love's a kind of mercy, but mercy still can't lie. If the wind smells like rain and rust beneath that Texas sky, you'll hear her laugh through the blossoms. Bluebonnet alibi. Maybe he was cruel, maybe she was wrong, maybe both got caught where they didn't belong. But the flowers still rise every year by design. And some things God leaves buried to keep the earth kind. Bluebonnet alibi, whispers in the spring of a woman and her freedom and what truth can't bring. If you drive that road at sunset and the pedals catch your eye, don't ask for the story, just nod and pass by. Bluebonnet alibi. Some love never dies. The silver Spur saloon's half burned, the jukebox still can hum. Half the keys are sticky, but it plays where we come from. The mirrors crack behind the bar like all our alibis, and the bartender's just scripture with tobacco in his eyes. He told me, son, your daddy played that stage before the flood, left his boots in back and debt paid up in blood. I took my seat where ghosts still drink, where outlaws paid their due, and I swear I heard his voice in that same old 2/4 groove. He'd sing of train yards and busted luck, of love that left and God that stuck. I never knew the man that well, just his records and his smell. But standing on that warped pine floor, I felt him walk through that door. Boy, he said, don't chase my end, let the song outlive the sin. Silver Spur Requiem, play that outlaw hymn for the fathers, sons, and sinners who won't come home again. Steel strings for the weary, smoke halos for the few. Silver Spur Requiem, sing it till it's true. I took the stage with shaking hands, the mic cold in my palm, sang his words in my own tone, turned the pain to calm. The bar grew still, the lights went low, a fiddle joined the prayer, and the walls sighed in rhythm like they knew he was still there. Every note was rust and grace, every line a fence undone. And when I hit that final chord, I knew the circle run. Some men find their heaven on a stage of worn out pine, where the bar lights meet the teardrops and the tune becomes divine. Silver Spur Requiem, play that outlaw hymn for the fathers, sons, and sinners who won't come home again. Steel strings for the weary, smoke halos for the few. Silver Spur Requiem, sing it till it's true. Now his boots are mine, his story too, but I'll end it different. Follow through, no debts, no floods, no sentiment, just music carried to the end. Silver Spur Requiem, last round's calling in. Raise a glass to broken men and start the song again. Steel strings for the weary, smoke halos for the few.
silver Spur Requiem. Dad, this one's for you.
There's dust on Daddy's Stetson, sitting on the old pine shelf. Smells like sweat, tobacco, and a life he lived himself. The brim is frayed, the band's gone gray, the feathers bent and thin, and every crease and scratch still hums the roads he's been. He wore it through the oil fields and the rodeos alike, through weddings, fights, and funerals, through love and losing sight. I was 10 when I first tried it on, too big for my small crown. He'd laugh and say, son, don't wear the hat till you earn this ground. Years rolled by like freight trains on a track that never quits, and I chased every sunset, thinking pride was what it fits. He passed in '85, quiet as a steel string bend, and the Stetson stayed above the hearth till Mom met her own end. Now I'm older than he ever was, staring at that hat, wondering how a man leaves meaning in something worn and flat. There's pictures of him smiling, one boot on a fence post rail, and the brim tipped down like secrets that the sky won't tell. Dust on Daddy's Stetson, holding time in its curve. It's a map of every mercy he didn't think he deserved. If I wear it out tomorrow, may the wind still understand. Dust on Daddy's Stetson, bless this weary man. I took it down last Friday, brushed the crown with trembling care, felt the ghost of every lesson living in that leather air. Don't cheat your word, don't run from pain, don't spit where you can stand. And son, you can't outdrink sorrow, but you can still shake its hand. I wore it to the fairgrounds where he rode the broncs one spring, where the crowd still smells of sawdust and the young still chase the rain. The announcer said my name wrong, but the spotlight found my face, and I tipped that hat to heaven, proud and out of place. When the music stopped, I lingered by the gate and felt the dust falling on the brim like everything we lose but trust. The boy I was, the man I've been, they both stood side by side, and the hat fit just as crooked as his truth and stubborn pride. Now when the mornings break too slow, I hang it back again between the faded photographs and the cross he left within. Dust on Daddy's Stetson, holding time in its curve. It's a map of every mercy he didn't think he deserved. If I wear it out tomorrow, may the wind still understand. Dust on Daddy Stetson, bless this weary man. Some folks leave their stories carved in stone or inked in skin. Mine stitched in felt and sunlight, and it fits just like my sin. So when my boy comes asking where the heroes go to rest, I'll point him toward that Stetson and let his heart do the rest. Dust on Daddy Stetson, shining soft and low. Every mile he carried me is in that shadowed glow. If heaven's got a rodeo and angels ride the land, dust on Daddy Stetson, I'll tip it when I can. Sign hums above the bar like lightning in a jar. A pink and amber Lariat wrapped around a steel guitar. They call this place the Neon, though it's more rust than shine, where cowboys trade their wages for forgiveness in a line. I walk in wearing history stitched tight across my sleeve, a rodeo of yesterdays I never learned to leave. The bartender nods like a prophet who's seen too much to pray. Says, what'll it be tonight, son? Forgetting or just delay? I order bourbon, eat and glance at faces in the glass, all reflections of the lives I nearly let slip past. The jukebox spins a Conway tune, the floor hums low and sweet, and every neon shimmer feels like judgment on repeat. A girl in rhinestones orders gin, she's got a scar that smiles, says, you look like a man who's walked too many miles. I laugh and tell her, darling, I lost count back in June. She clinks her glass and whispers, then you know what makes us true. Neon Lariat broke my weary soul, pulled me through this midnight, make the broken whole. If I get lost in the glow of lies I can't forget, tie me back to mercy, my sweet neon Lariat. The band begins their second set, the bass thuds like a harp, and somewhere near the dance floor old regrets restart. She grabs my hand, we circle once, her perfume stings the years. All the wrong roads I've taken turn to laughter through the tears outside.